Hi, the sun is shining into my eyeballs. So the first thing I want to talk about is Colleen Ballinger, who is also known as Miranda Sings, which is a character that she made who was like, I'm sure you know who it is, but she's like the funny one with like all the lipstick. And this guy called Adam basically released a video kind of exposing her and basically telling people his experiences with, I guess, being in contact with her. So he was a massive fan of Miranda Sings / Colleen Ballinger. He had made fan accounts for her in like 2013, 2014. Colleen saw the fan accounts and they started talking about 2 years later. And then in 2017, that's when he kind of labeled them as actually becoming proper friends. So during this period of time where this whole thing is happening, he was around the ages of 13 to like 16-ish. So that is very, very young. And when they were talking, Colleen would basically give him really intimate details about her divorce. And Adam, of course, being very young and such a big fan, that obviously wasn't the best thing for him to hear, because he looked up to this couple so much and he loved them both so much. And now he's hearing all these details and intimate things that he really didn't have to know from this creator that he idolized. Now Colleen would ask him to find drama and information and tea about like her ex-husband, about what people are saying about her, about other creators and all that yummy stuff. So he was like a little minion who was told to go on like forums and gossip sites and basically just give her a bunch of information about what's happening. And then he ended up getting involved in all these forums somehow, and they threw his name in there, and they were just, obviously these forums and sites are awful. They are very, very negative. Trash, honestly trash. And so he was being told to look for drama for her, and then ended up reading about people shitting on him. Now his parents started to notice all these weird things and started to get really suspicious, and they asked him to sort of distance himself from Colleen because he was like, what, 14, 15? And this was a 30-something-year-old woman telling him details about her divorce and telling him to go onto forums and sites to dig up dirt about people. So he started to give her less information because obviously his parents had told him to distance himself. But then Colleen would say certain things or promise certain things in order to get him to kind of do it again. Like she would follow him on Twitter, subscribe to him on YouTube, like possibly shout him out, I'm not quite sure. There was this one time where she promised him and his brother entry to VidCon, and that just never happened. There were just a lot of empty promises made in order for him to keep on finding dirt for her. There was also this one instance where she had sent him lingerie, and he proved it in the video because he still had the pair of lingerie after his parents took it from him, because why is a 30-year-old woman sending him lingerie? There are also clips of Colleen on a live stream telling him that she's going to send him the lingerie.
Your Twitter account is making me laugh so much. I want to send him something. Do you want the bra, Adam?
Do you want the bra and panties? Tweet right now.
Okay, maybe he'll want the panties. Although then his parents will be like, you're not allowed to watch who is sending you panties.
And from 2017 to 2018, he had the login for the Miranda Sings Twitter account. And Colleen had asked him for help on what to tweet from the Miranda Sings Twitter account because it was kind of struggling and it wasn't really getting the numbers that she wanted. And he gave a bunch of ideas, and that's, oh Jesus fucking Christ. That's when he got the idea to do the coming out tweet. Everything that he posted was run through Colleen, and after he had posted the I'm coming out, and then everyone was kind of questioning what it was about, and then it turned out she was coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan. And obviously everyone was mad because people were accusing her of like queer baiting or using the LGBTQ community for like clout. And then she obviously got really upset and she deleted it. But then she started DMing Adam, and with every message she would start to push more and more of the blame onto him. Which yes, he did come up for the tweet, but not only is he really, really young, but he also ran the tweet past you and you said it was funny, you said you loved it, and suddenly it's all like, oh, that's a really bad idea, I knew you shouldn't have tweeted it, like people are really mad at me right now, I'm like on the verge of tears. And so that was the whole thing. And then he found out that Colleen was basically chatting shit behind his back, and then he got really upset and he sent like this paragraph saying like, oh, I'm really disappointed in you that you would stoop to this level. And then she left him on red and they haven't really talked since, and oh my god. So that's a whole thing that's floating around right now. The next thing I want to talk about is Susie Lou, who is a YouTuber who kind of does like reaction videos, but is really one of those wow videos, you know what I mean? So basically what she does is react to full anime episodes with minimal to no reactions, and again like the entire anime episode would be in that video, and she just upload it with her just laughing or saying a couple words which is obviously not fair use because there's nothing transformative, there's no commentary. And whenever she'd get called out for uploading full anime episodes with nothing transformative about her videos, she would bring up the policy of fair use. But she would also take down other people. I don't think she copyright claimed any. I think she fully took them down, and people are suspecting that she has somebody in YouTube that like she has a personal connection to. So she'd flag it for like harassment and bullying, or she'd copyright strike them, and then it'd get taken down, but she'd tweet about it. Like she'd tweet about videos getting taken down hours before they were actually taken down. And that's not something that creators usually know about. You don't know that a video is going to be taken down before it gets taken down. She also got a partner manager really easily. Partner managers are really hard to kind of get, so people are kind of wondering why somebody of her sub count would be like immediately got a partner manager. And she could take down those videos of other people really easily if they were overly critical of her, but her videos never got taken down despite it blatantly being copyrighted content. She also started uploading these reaction videos to Patreon, and obviously it goes against their policies as well. So she has taken down all of her Patreon videos by herself, like she deleted them, but her YouTube videos got taken down by somebody else, like a third party had flagged it for something or like copyright claimed it or something. So I guess she like tweeted about, she said something, I'm not sure if it was on Twitter, but she said something about like reviewing her legal options, and she included like the name or the address of her law firm, and somebody looked up the address and it just wasn't a law office, so people are suspecting that she doesn't actually have a lawyer and she's just saying things or like threatening to review her legal options just to scare people. And so because of all this, she has started her own website to upload these videos, and she has blocked them in Japan so people in Japan can't view it, in hopes that that would help her avoid any copyright things. She also uses specific server hosts that don't do copyright claims like YouTube does, and now people are kind of thinking about it and realizing that's kind of not the smartest thing, because not having a copyright system doesn't mean that you get free of any consequences. It just means that instead of copyright claiming you, they will go straight to suing you. So instead of just saying things or cutting out bits of the anime out and just genuinely contributing something to her videos, she's risking getting sued. She's also been known to be rather misogynistic and just, you know, a pick-me girl. She once talked about Twitch streamers and said that they were like cam girls because they wear more scandalous clothing and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with cam girls, there's nothing wrong with sex workers in general, and there's no reason you should get slut shamed for being a cam girl or a sex worker. There is no reason that a Twitch streamer should get slut shamed for not wearing your definition of enough clothing. If I want to wear something, I'm going to fucking wear it. She also, during the whole McDonald's worker pay rise thing, she basically made fun of McDonald's workers for wanting more money because they're like stupid, and McDonald's like a stupid job to have, so they don't deserve the money. Like, you upload copyrighted content doing reactions like haha, yay, wow, onto YouTube. Shut up. The next thing I want to talk about is this girl called Shannon on TikTok. She made this really homophobic TikTok, which was basically her getting changed in the changing rooms, and then it cuts to like her in a different part of the room, and it was like the lesbian in the corner watching you or something like that, and she was acting obviously really creepy. And people were calling her out on it, and she's like, oh, it's just a joke. People are getting way too serious. And she went through her comments, because there were a lot of comments saying, you're a moron, this is homophobic, and then there were people being like, why are you so pressed with the joke? Or like comments basically just telling her she's funny, and she'd go through and heart all the positive comments, but the top comments were obviously still the ones critiquing her because she's a homophobe. Just because you label it as a joke doesn't mean it's still not disgusting. It is not your place to decide whether or not it was offensive, and going off the reaction that it caused, it was obviously really offensive and really harmful towards the community, and instead of simply apologizing, it really isn't that hard. Instead of apologizing, she made an entire different TikTok saying to all the lesbians from my last post, saying that we'd never look at me that way. And then it's one of those song ones where you pose and it's like a song cover, and the song was Love the Way You Lie. Homophobia is ugly. You are ugly. You look like a clown. This is why you spend your time on TikToks trying to claim that lesbians are into you instead of finding a guy that's interested in you, because they're not. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is regarding the trans community community and detransitioners. Not necessarily a problem with detransitioners, but the problem that, anyway, you'll see what I mean. The problem with detransitioners is that a lot of people will use detransitioners as an excuse to be transphobic, even though one, only 0.6% of transitioners end up detransitioning, and two, the majority of those people who end up detransitioning only detransition because they're in a hostile environment where they cannot be trans because they are being hated on, because they're not safe. So if people would just stop being a dick to the LGBTQ community, that 0.6% would be even lower. So basically, Tavistock is a place, institution, building, and they basically work with people who are trying to transition under the age of 18. This person, who I forgot to write down the name of because I'm smart, but this person is suing the NHS because they ended up detransitioning and realized that they weren't trans, saying they should have challenged me more on my kind of gender or whatever, even though they were the one who made it very obvious that they had a desire to transition. They were very vocal about that, and she said that she only got 3 1-hour sessions and that wasn't enough, which from what I know is like the average amount from the people that I've heard from. That is the average amount of sessions that they have before seeing your options to transition. And she basically made it feel like being trans was forced upon her, which it wasn't. They didn't interview, by the way. They worded everything just really weird. I don't think they meant it as this way, but it just came across like all trans people weren't actually supposed to be trans, and that I wasn't trans but I thought I was, and then I had to detransition to live my truth, and that's what living your truth is, detransitioning because you're not trans. It basically came off that way, and it was very tone deaf. And they said that they were a massive tomboy growing up and they were judged for being a tomboy, and that's why they felt the pressure to transition, because like if I were a guy then I could be a tomboy and not be judged for it. That bit doesn't make sense. I feel like judging people based on like gender stereotypes is literally the dumbest thing. They also said that Tavistock needs to make children reconsider. No, the entire point of it is to make you feel welcome. They're not trying to make you reconsider, because then it feels like they're doubting you, and that's the opposite of the point. The entire point is that they're supposed to help trans people transition, and if they're like, are you sure you're trans, then that's like not the best for them, because then it makes them feel like shit. They should be helping these children, not creating doubt in these children's minds. Those were like the major points that I kind of noted down. And at the end of the day, I do sympathize with how much it would suck to do all these surgeries, go under all these changes, and then realize that you did it all for nothing, and now you're in a worse place than you were before because you were just confused. But you are still suing them, and that's not going to help anyone. I don't know what your goal was, to make them more thorough in their assignments, because if that was your goal, just make a formal complaint. You don't have to sue them, because your goal of them being more thorough is not going to be achieved if they can't afford to still be a thing. So yeah, I don't agree with her suing at all. I personally think it's illogical and immoral, and it's just going to make it so much harder for trans youth to start transitioning. Don't do that. Suing NHS is not doing anything good. So yeah, that's all I had for today. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay home.